grow this initiative, and how could we do that best, thinking of the different dimensions that it involves. But I want to show something else. This isn't just about people visiting and having a look. It's a pretty website. There are flowers and stuff. We've done this for quite a profound reason. And as we want people to engage, what we're delighted with now in the last year is that we've seen an explosion of the number of people actually completing their indexes. So telling us what is most important to them in their lives, 11 dimensions that we have set out for this, and they're engaging directly, and this is growing all the time. The idea is to see, you've heard of health, wealth and happiness. So how important, say, is the wealth element in all of that? That's the material, that's the housing, things of that nature, relative to other elements, those elements more of quality of life. And what we're actually seeing is that the quality of life elements are coming out very high. This is interesting because people at the top of organizations or in international spaces, I think in a sense we think we have answers. And what we need to do is we need to pose questions in order to make sure that now we have the right answers for the questions that people are posing and the things that are worrying them. So let's move swiftly on, because I don't want to take up too much time this morning. But this is, it's an important thing for you to have in mind, because how have we managed to garner this, for us, huge community around the index? 15% of all the traffic that we have had is down to Facebook. Now, at the beginning, when we planned this, we didn't know what was going to happen and how it was going to happen. And so when Dan says we're all muddling through this stuff, I agree with him, I humbly agree with him, and I think it's great that we are as well. And we took a little bit of a punt back in 2008. We went with Facebook, we went with Twitter, we went with YouTube, a small number of channels at that time, and communities as they've developed. But for the index, the thing that's really worked well has been Facebook. Why? Because it allows you to embed, it allows you to be able to share. It's a relatively, it's not a simple thing, and it's a very visual thing. So that's worked wonderfully for us. At the same time, the immediate comments that people have, and this is an example here, Shiv Malik, who's a journalist with the Guardian newspaper in London, he got excited about it, he tweeted about it. That creates that connection as well as you can imagine too. Alison, let me... This brings us on another question, which is, what is the power of social media? And the power of social media, we have to, I think, factor in the language element really strongly. Yesterday we were discussing, should I put this on the table to you as an audience today or not? I'm speaking in English today, and I have an accent, and it's a British accent. Dan was speaking in English, and he has an accent, and it's an American accent. And if you heard Alison, you would hear another American accent. Social media, yes, English is there, but we have an office in Japan. And so when I saw this, I immediately tweeted it to them. Check that out. 16% of people on Twitter in Japanese. 60% of all traffic, and Spanish 12. So for us as an organization that wants to be global, we have a global ambition. When you see our globe up there, why do we have a globe? Because people don't know that we're global necessarily. It's the OECD. I'm not going to give you the worst description of us because I don't want to propagate it. But if you think World Bank, they don't have that problem because they're the World Bank, right? The IMF had all sorts of problems. I'm not going to go into that. Representatives from the IMF, I'm being facetious. We all have our issues. But those are organisations that are known for their global reach, and we have a challenge with that. But that's where this element for us, and many of us around the table, when we're thinking global, we need to keep these figures very strongly in mind as well. The capacity to communicate and what are the languages that people are using. In June, we will be launching the Better Life Index in Portuguese in Brazil on the 9th of June, just before the World Cup starts. And Pele has kindly agreed to join us to do this. So we hope at that point that is also something. When I see the figures in Portuguese of 6, when I know how powerful Facebook is in a space like that, we hope very much that is really going to help us grow. So I'm going to stop with my addiction, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you all for coming here this morning, and I wish you all a fantastic day, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all the great ideas and other showcasing of addictions that we're going to have in the course of today.
Terrific. Thank you, Anthony.